At Ag PhD, we've talked quite a bit about strip till in the past, and I guess we just wanted to discuss these berms a little bit today and talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages to strip till.
Well, one thing we like to do in strip till, it's a little different than some other guys, is we like to use a chopping corn head. We chop up a lot of that residue, we try to make small pieces. That way we can easily move it over to the side or grind it up in our strip. Either way works out good for us, whether it's in the strip and chopped up or it's pushed off to the side. It's just so it's going to flow through our equipment that much better. Now, some people like to leave those stalks nice and tall. We've just had too many problems, like right here. We're on the end rows. They've been, you can see a lot of the stalks have gotten run over here, but we'd see those big long stalks. Yeah, it's nice trying to keep that residue off the ground, but when you get to this part of the field, we drive over them. Now we got big long pieces laying across, and in the spring, we end up with issues.
Well, it happens all the time. Even if your plant's just normally decaying, it starts to tip over, and pretty soon you get a big piece of residue right in the middle, and then you end up trying to plant over that. You can't cut it very well because it's a great big thick stalk, and you hairpin that residue. We just can't have that. We want to have the best stand possible out there. That's been one of the drawbacks over the years that a lot of guys have said is, well, I don't have quite as nice a stand in my strip till as I do my conventional till, so I'm going back to conventional till. What we're trying to do here is take the best of no-till and the best of conventional till and meld those two things together. So we've got a nice berm here, and you'll see this is a little bit raised from the ground that's right next to it. That's absolutely ideal. That's what we're looking for. So now when we go in and plant, we can clear away a little bit of this dirt, and right below it, we've got a nice, clean, residue-free seed bed that's a little bit warmer, actually quite a bit warmer than where we've got stalks right in between.
What we've seen with some other farms around the area, and we've seen it on our farm from time to time, is when we get into doing this strip tillage, we end up with a little depression where we're actually pushing some of that dirt out to the side. That's not what we want at all. Now you're planting into a trench and you're just asking for problems. If residue blows around in the winter, it's going to end up in the low spots, which is that trench where you want to plant. So you do want to make sure you have a nice berm, plus you get good soil warm up this way because we've got a nice black strip here that's going to soak in that sun in the spring. And we've seen noticeable temperature differences in that strip versus just off to the side.
Yeah, a lot of times it's 7 degrees different, 8 degrees different in the spring. It will be just slightly colder than conventional till, but not much. In the strip, it's almost as warm as what conventional till is. Now you also notice that we're running these strips right in between the old corn rows. We do the same thing if we're strip tilling into soybean ground. We run right in between the old soybean rows. It's a lot easier that way. You have a lot less problems with the strip till machine, and you can make a really nice berm. When we do this strip till, we're placing the nutrients like P and K down about 8 to 10 inches deep. We are not typically putting nitrogen on at the same time, and a lot of people say, well, now, boy, you have to make an extra trip. Yep, we do. So either we're putting on anhydrous in a separate application, or we're going out and spraying liquid nitrogen or spraying urea right over the top. We don't worry as much about nitrogen and getting it real deep because nitrogen will move down in the soil with rainfall. But with P and K, it's going to stay where you put it, and we don't want our P and K in the top 2-3 inches of soil. We've already got more than enough P and K there in most fields. We want to get our P and K down a little bit deeper so we make our crop a lot more tolerant to drought conditions. We know we can get the roots down deep. We know we've got some moisture down there. We just want to get some plant food down there as well.
Well, there's certainly a lot of things that go into strip tillage, but it's important to get out as you're doing the strip tillage in your fields in the fall, hopefully, is to take a look at that berm. Make sure you've got a little rise there, so you've got a couple inches of berm built up. This is going to help you out in the spring. That way, if you can move some residue off there, you still have a little soil you can push away to the side. You're going to be warmer in the spring that way, and you can just go right in and plant. So you'll save a lot of time come spring.
Okay, let's talk about some last advantages and disadvantages with strip till. Just a few things I can think of off the top of my head. If I'm going down 10 inches deep here with my fertilizer, that's a huge advantage. I also now have basically completely eliminated all compaction down to 10 inches, so I get very fast root growth down there. I've got pretty warm soil here, but compared to conventional till, it's really not any warmer. In fact, it might even be a degree or two cooler in that berm or in that strip than conventional till, and that leads me to one of the biggest disadvantages with strip till. Yeah, it's going to be just slightly cooler, especially in between the rows. It's going to be a lot cooler than conventional till. But beyond that, it takes a lot more time to do strip till compared to conventional till. We can probably get over 3 times as many acres with conventional till as compared to strip till. But I just wanted to bring up my last big advantage with strip till. When we're placing that fertilizer right below where we're going to plant the seed, we usually can get by with a lot of times 30% less P and K and get the same yield response. It's been a proven fact over the years you get better uptake on P and K when it's right in the row, and especially directly below where the seed's going to be planted, as compared to broadcast out over a whole field. Like no-till, we're able to save a bunch of moisture out in that field, we catch a bunch of snowfall, and we're overall reducing erosion. You see big-time erosion reductions when you're comparing strip till versus conventional till.
Well, there's certainly a lot of advantages to changing your tillage program, but there are also advantages if you improve your weed control program. We'll show you how to kill this tough weed coming up next.